never miss your chance to know what the latest sports news is in town. Chances to win tickets and knowing what's going on with all your favorite KFAN shows. Follow KFAN 1003.
Oh, boy.
On all of our social channels like Instagram, TikTok, and X now. Stay connected and follow the sports leader, KFAN.
What's the name of this one again? We play this a lot. I kind of like it.
I do like this one. This one's called Electromagnetism.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, it sounds like a xylophone, or maybe it's just a triangle.
This would be like one of those great, like, 5 questions or top 5 at 5.
Yeah.
Or Vikings news type bet underneath.
You know why we started doing 5, 3, 4? It was because of top 5 at 5. Because the powers that be said you have to have, I don't know if they still believe this. Probably do. Makes sense, I guess. You have to have benchmarks. You have to have destinations for people, right? People listen to the top 5 at 5 because they're going to hear the top 5 stories at 5 o'clock. So we had to come up with something. And I went, how about we just have 10 to be asked me some questions and we'll call it 5, 3, 4, kind of on, 5 sounds like more than 4. That's how that happened. It wasn't because we thought it was some great idea or did it on our own. We were kind of forced to come up with an idea.
Yes.
All right, well, why not? And then,
has it really helped?
Well, it allows me to eat my lunch.
No.
Well, I got another one of those from somebody. You're a pig. Okay. I should be admired. Taking a working lunch.
I always love that one.
2 things that I want to talk to us more about the big game. One by Seattle with Sam Darnold at quarterback. People still don't want to give Sam Darnold any credit.
He won the big game.
I know, but that doesn't matter to...
I get if you want to say he's not Pat Mahomes.
Right.
But to not give him any credit?
Well, it's...
He played pretty well in the playoffs.
He did. Here's what... Randball, Michael Rand, Fish Wrap Factory, writes a piece about it today. Says his performance the last couple of seasons, 14-win regular seasons with the Vikings and on the Seahawks, showed him to be a decidedly above-average quarterback, I should say. And then goes on to say, but Darnold's performance throughout, says Darnold's 3-year, $100.5 million contract with Seattle was backloaded, so the cap hit was only 13.4. That mitigated some of the issues, at least for a year. Low cap hit. The Seahawks could make offseason upgrades and field a dominant defense that ultimately carried the load in the big game. But Darnold's performance throughout the season was more steady than elevating. He finished 19th in regular season total QBR. He produced some true clunkers down the stretch, but Seattle's overall dominance carried the way, and he played arguably his best game of the season when it mattered most. In the NFC Championship game, where he threw for 346 yards, 3 TDs, no turnovers, by the way. None. That's not mentioned in here. No turnovers. He didn't have any turnovers in the postseason at all.
The Patriots defense is pretty good.
It is really good. But this year was odd. Experience seemed to matter more than ever at quarterback in the biggest moments. As defenses gained the upper hand on offenses in critical moments. It was a pretty nondescript season, which is a polite way of saying boring. I don't think defensive football is boring. Why do people want to continue to... I guess if you think it is, that's fine. I find... So you don't like defense? So then if your team, let's say the Vikings win 24-3, you don't like that? That's boring to you? I wish my defense would have given up some more points. Is that what you want? Well, I wish my defense would have given up more points. That would have been more exciting for me. It's the most preposterous thing I've ever heard in my life. Then why even keep B-flow? If you just want to shoot out, just load up on offensive. Don't even worry about fielding or defense. Matter of fact, have your guys play both sides of the ball. Then you don't have to. Then think about how low your salary would be. Then it's so preposterous. But I think it's too hard to admit we had the guy in our building and we let him go. And I know they didn't let Pat Mahomes go. I get that. but he's still pretty good. Then there were the predictions going into the game. Most people felt Seattle would win, but there were some people that had New England winning, and for good reason, too. It's a good football team. They were 13-4. Drake May had a terrific season. Mike Vrabel's a heck of a coach. But I think sometimes people rely too much on, you know how I always say, just because something has happened before doesn't mean it's going to happen again. Or just because something has never happened doesn't mean that it can't happen. For instance, when it came to Seattle, there were those that were saying, again, doubting Darnold. Like doubting Thomas's. They were doubting Darnold. Had a penchant for turning over the ball. New England's a pretty good defense. I think more than likely Sam's going to revert to form again. He's going to turn the ball. As if, old dogs can't learn new tricks. As if I know he turned the ball over a lot, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to continue to turn the ball over. Does that make sense? Also, there was the talk that Vrabel had played in 4 big games. He learned under Belichick. Well, yeah, but when that game is being played, once the opening kick, none of that matters anymore. Now, there's no way Vrabel's going, what did we do in this situation back in Super Bowl 26 or whatever it was, whatever he played? Do you think he's thinking about that? No, he's staring at his play sheet, trying to figure out what play he's going to call next, talking to his coordinators in the booth. It doesn't matter what your experience was before. I don't think in that moment, because McDonald hadn't had a lot. Well, look at everybody that wanted to go with the Vrabel experience. How good of a season May had. He was runner-up in the MVP voting, second. That's all good and great. But I sometimes think that gets a little bit overrated. That he's played in the big game before. He's done this before. He's done that before. Well, yeah, okay. But Deuce and I do this all the time. Deuce loves this. I'll be watching football game, and Danny Campbell will be staring. They'll show him on the sideline staring at the play sheet. And I'll look at Deuce and I'll say, Danny, the answers aren't on that play sheet, man. You can stare at your play sheet all you want. You don't have the answers there. Matter of fact, the answer for Detroit is he's in Chicago now. That's where your answer is, Dan. So, no! Anyway, I guess there's still the doubters about Darnold. And you know what? He ain't going to the Hall of Fame, I don't think. Now, he could do the same thing next year and have.
He's still young enough.
Yeah, he could be brilliant. He's probably not, though, but he could.
He could have another 10 good years.
Yeah. I mean, I like Eli Manning better than I like Sam Darnold. Eli ain't in the Hall of Fame.
I don't know if I do. I think I might like Darnold better than Eli Manning.
All right. Yeah, I understand that. I employ the esoteric approach, which always looks at things different. And, the esoteric approach is not always right, just like 99% of the time. But it's not always right. So, yeah, I bet there were some people that might like Darnold better. But, yeah, I don't know. I do think this. It
is funny, though, how people kind of change their narrative on it, right? Like the knock against Darnold was he's a choker. He can't play in the big games.
Right.
And then when he starts winning big games and wins an NFC championship and wins a big game, it's, well, he had all this help around him, right? Like the narrative changes.
That's exactly right.
Halfway through.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it that way. That's what I've been searching for. They just don't want to give him any credit. And I think, at least in this town, what it is, it goes back to what I just said moments ago. They don't want to accept the fact that we made a mistake, because then you can't trust your brain. Trust that. You go, well, if they blew it on that one, what are they going to do next? You want to, and then they offer up the scapegoats. It was all Kwesi. It's all Kwesi. It's all Kwesi. And I don't know if we'll ever know until someone asks directly of either Kwesi or O'Connell who had the ultimate decision in letting Sam Darnold walk out the building. Right? I mean, until we find that out, my sources lead me to believe that O'Connell had as much to say, if not more, than Kwesi, that he was the guy that made the call. But maybe he didn't. I don't know. whoever made the decision, it was not a good decision. We know that. It's fact. And you can say there's revisionist thinking for some. Some said it later. I said it at the time. I just thought I loved the way he played. And I guess I believe that the quarterback, the coach was good at coaching up quarterbacks too. It hasn't worked with McCarthy yet, but it still could. And I want to talk about that on the other side of the break, because now as we move forward into the, we're getting are we a couple of weeks away from the combine?
Sure. Oh yeah.
Couple of weeks from the combine, and then from there
we're going to pop some tags first.
Yeah,
they'll get the combine.
Is tags before the combine?
Yeah, we pop tags before the combine.
Do we really? So I
thought we did.
It's tags, combine, draft, then, right?
Well, free agency. Free agency before draft.
Yeah, that's right. Free agency. So it's popping tags, combine, free agency, draft, Oda's minicamp. And then I'm 1 year closer to the 75 cliff. No! We'll break. We'll come back with a little distat lat here in the fan.
That one teacher who believed in us. Well, show your gratitude with Thank a Teacher. Powered by Donors Choose. Nominate a public school teacher to win $5,000 for their classroom. This week, we want to give a shout out to Emily Larson, who teaches at Stillwater Area High School. Nominate a teacher to thank today at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. Also want to say the fan wants to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword pay at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is pay. Enter now at KFAN.com.
Where, by the way, Common Man program, Common Intend to Be. The legendary Mark Rosen will join us tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We start at 1 tomorrow. Nico Medved show is head coach of the Minnesota Golden Gophers men's basketball team. We'll do his coach's show from noon until 1. Haley Wynn of Rochester, New York, scored the goal for the United States. Is it still 1-0 at the end of one period?
Yes, 1-0 after one.
Playing Switzerland. We're already 2-0. Is that what you said? We've won.
Yes.
Where am I? How? They play a lot of games already.
They started right at the get-go.
Yeah, okay, very good.
USA had the better of the play that period, though Switzerland did have two very close calls. So,
okay.
This game is a little dicier so far than they would like it to be.
If Switzerland were to beat the United States, I know it wouldn't be quite as big as Miracle on Ice, but it'd be a major upset, would it not? That's what you've let me believe. You said, "Oh yeah, the women's it's Canada, Minnesota, and the United States, and that's all there is to it." So
I don't know Switzerland's women's hockey as intimately as I would like, so it'd be.
You told me that it was a no-brainer that there was going to be.
Well, it will be USA and Canada.
Well, we'll see. You just said they had two really
Miracle
good
on Ice is maybe the biggest miracle in the history of sports.
No, that's bigger than David beating Goliath. Okay, all right. If you want to really go with that, you can go ahead. But I think David beating Goliath was the biggest upset. And that was a sport. They went toe-to-toe, hammer and tong. I think it was with a slingshot, wasn't it? Or was it a slingshot, or was it one of those? Wasn't there one of those olden day Roman Empire weapons where you put like a rock inside of a little leather pouch, and then you would swing it on a piece of rope or something? You'd swing it around, and then you would let it go, and it would fly.
He used a sling to launch a stone with high velocity at the giant's forehead, causing him to fall and then killing him with his own sword.
Like a saucer pass to the forehead is what it was. So there you go. That's a big upset. How big was Goliath? Does it say? What's the tail of the tape? Well, he was a Goliath. He was huge. Matter of fact, if I were the Golden State Warriors, I would change from Warriors to Goliaths. The Golden State Goliaths.
Goliath's height varies depending on the manuscript, with older sources like the Dead Sea Scrolls and Josephus setting him at 4 cubits in a span, which is roughly 6'9". Conversely, the Masoretic text using most modern Bibles, describes him as 6 cubits in a span, which translates to roughly 9'9".
Wow. 9'9". My guess David was like 5'7", 140, soaking wet. Do you know Jack Dempsey beat Jess Willard for the heavyweight championship July 4th, 1919, Toledo, Ohio, on the shores of Maumee Bay? Willard was like 245 pounds and Dempsey weighed like about 180. Third round knockout. Matter of fact, legend has it, and if you look at the black and white picture close enough, you can see one of Willard's 2 teeth embedded in front teeth embedded in the glove of Jack Dempsey. That's a legend. I don't know if it's really true or not, but that's a pretty big upset too. U.S. is favored by 4.5 goals in this game against Switzerland, so this would be David slaying Goliath. 4.5-point favorites.
That's significant.
What was the Soviet Union favored by in that game? Did they do point spreads back then in the 80s, or was that not?
I don't know, but in the exhibition before the Olympics, they won 10-3.
Yeah. It's exhibition. You know what that's called? Playing possum. That's what I bet Herbie Brooks played possum. Let's not show them everything we've got. Matter of fact, we'll do what the Wolves do. Let's just not play defense for 3 periods. Let the Soviet Union get overconfident, full of themselves,
sure,
thinking this is going to be a cakewalk. And instead, we came out and we gave them everything they wanted, and the rest.
One of my favorite things that they talk about in that game was that the Soviet Union never pulled their goalie because, like, they weren't ever in the situation where they were down a goal with like a minute or 2 left. Like, they didn't even think to go, oh, maybe we should pull our goalie here. Yeah. We're losing.
Yeah, might have been a good idea. The one thing I like about hockey now is sort of like with coaches going for it on 4th down more than they ever have in football. It seems to me, and I'm not watching, seems to me, now I'm doing a James Gang song. From what Deuce told me, because I'm watching, he does games for, he's doing a game on Thursday, a boys regular season game for GameTimeMN.com, GameTimeMN.com for, he does high school streaming games, right? And team is down like 4-1, pulling the goalie with 2.5, 3 minutes to go. Or back in,
I think earlier in that, yeah.
Right. But back in the olden days, you didn't dare do that till there was like a minute to go, right? Because they said, well, if we're down 4-1, give up another one.
It was maybe minute and a half.
Yeah. But now it's
who started that trend?
Who?
Former Colorado Avalanche goaltender Patrick Roy.
Seriously, Roy did that?
He was a head coach for the Avalanche, and he was the first one where he'd start pulling the goalie with 4 or 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
And everyone thought he was crazy at the time. And now it's really like, it's an analytics thing.
Right. Okay.
Because, if you pull your goalie, let's say you're down a goal, and you pull it with 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
And you get scored on, and now you're down 2 goals. Well, you still got 3 minutes where you can pull your goalie again.
Yep.
And you still have 3 minutes to score 2 goals. Whereas if you pull it with a minute and a half, and it gives you more time to try to score a goal.
Yes, I agree. Obviously, it gives them a greater chance to score too. But I like the odds.
It's an analytics.
Yeah,
thing.
I don't know if
because the game's not. If you pull your goalie with a minute left and the other team scores an empty netter, that's ball game. You're done.
Yeah.
Whereas you're still in it. The earlier you pull.
Yes, I agree. So and
you're giving yourself more time to score.
I use that as comparison to the coach now going, because they used to never go for it on 4th down until it was like, well,
yep,
you don't have any timeouts left. There's a minute to go. It's 4th and 15 from your own 22. You got to go for it. You can't punt anymore. Now it's like teams will do it.
It's all math now.
Well, yeah, they'll do it on the first possession of the football game. They might have
in their own territory.
In their own territory,
yeah.
Or it'll be 4th and a yard to go, and like I say, own territory or in the other team, you just go for it. Doesn't always work, but I think they this could be controversial. It says taking nothing away from Herb and the 80 Olympic Hockey Club, but even the hardcores will acknowledge hockey is a weird sport. Oftentimes a hot goalie steals games from deserving opponents. You want a real miracle? See, the MN's Minnesota sports fans keep on keeping on our club's histories. What does that mean? You wouldn't believe it if it was in a book. What does that mean? I don't understand what he's saying. I don't know. I should have maybe pre-read that. I thought he had something controversial there. This says the Miracle on Ice USSR was about a 2.5 to 3 goal favorite against the United States.
That's it?
That's what he says. I don't know. I'm just going by why the text messenger says.
So this would be a bigger Miracle on Ice?
This would be a bigger Miracle on Ice.
If the Swiss can pull it off.
Yeah.
I almost feel like cheering for him just to witness another Miracle on Ice.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Does that make me a traitor now?
I don't think so, but I think you're right. Someone said, how about doing a segment on golf?
Huh?
Well, in the last segment, let's do like bullet points where we just, talk about a couple of quick little topics. One of them would be yesterday. My guess is, did you watch any of yesterday's Waste Management?
No.
Oh, man. I'm telling you what. Well, they had a full field. How good was Scotty? It was a good turn. You laugh almost like it was preposterous. It was a wonderful finish to a tournament. We'll talk a little bit about that, and then we've got some. I have a couple of other thoughts. Oh, I want to talk about the NFL rumor mill in general, but in general and even specifically about the Vikings. So we'll do that when we come back. It's the Common Man program here on the Fan.
Feel the energy of the state of hockey. Minnesota Wild Hockey is back at Grand Casino Arena. Don't miss the speed, the hits, and the roar of the crowd. Get your tickets now at wild.com/tickets.
Pastime Common. He's 10 to be. Want to again welcome all of our listeners at our brand new affiliate, KFAN, now part of the KFAN Common Man Radio Network. KWMN, the fan Winona 99.3. 99.3. Esoteric Sports for the Esoteric Winona. Kind of help them along here as they get used to the Grum. This is the part of the show, the last segment of the 2 o'clock hour, which really starts to bog down. This is Timberwolf. Like, when the Timberwolves don't play defense, this is the equivalent of the Timberwolves not playing defense. This is where it really starts to bog down. This text message came in and said, Common, here's a hypothetical I posed to my golfing buddies this weekend. 1 shot on 16 TPC Scottsdale. That's where they're completely surrounded by like a 4-story, hospitality area. And they can hoot and holler and scream and throw beer bottles and beer cans onto the green, and it's all accepted. Here's the hypothetical on that hole. If you land on the green for 1 year, you can play unlimited golf, any course in the world for free. Well, I already kind of got that. No, I'm just kidding. Augusta, Marion, Pheasant Acres, to have an experience not unlike a professional.
Yeah. That's the first place I'd go.
You name it. But if you miss the green, you're barred from golfing for 3 years. Do you take the shot? Not a chance. I couldn't go without golfing for 3 years. I mean, as much as I'd like to be able to play free all over the world, Marion, Augusta, everything, yeah, that would be all fine. Somebody, as a matter of fact, last week we were talking about the Super Bowl tickets, right, for $30,000. And one of my golfing buddies said, how about $30,000 a pair of tickets and you get to play Augusta a couple of times? And I was like, that's still too much money. As much as I'd like to pay Augusta, I don't want to pay that kind of money. And then the question always goes, how much would you pay to play Augusta? I don't know. A few grand, I suppose, but I'm not going to give away my life savings just to play a golf. At the end of the day, it's got 18 flags in it. I'm just as happy If you told me, Tenneby, I can take you to Augusta or I can take you to Pheasant Acres, I would take Augusta. But I'm just as happy playing Pheasant Acres. So, no, I would not. Would you take that bet? Well, of course, you haven't golfed in 3 years.
I was going to say, in 3 years, I've golfed maybe like a total of 20 times. So I'm not losing a whole lot there.
No, you sure aren't.
But I also have analytics-wise, a much less chance of hitting the green than you do.
Yes.
What's the distance on that hole?
I don't know what.
And how big's the green? How wide is it?
They're fairly big, but I don't know. You'd have to look at the picture of it. I mean, it's the one thing about TPC Scottsdale. It's a Crenshaw Coeur design golf course, and the greens have plenty of movement. So, like even on 17 yesterday, a drivable par 4, no one seemed to be able to quite get there. But they had it in a back pin location and a severe drop off left with water over there and bunkers to the right. And it's like even chipping from just off. One guy was putting from just off the green. He had 60, 70, 80 feet, whatever it was. He put it right off the green on the left. So it's
a little slippery.
Yeah, that's slippery. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
because it's marked at 163 yards in the official scorecard, but they've had days, obviously, they can move it. They've moved it up as far as like 123 yards, which now I'll start thinking a little bit.
Yeah.
Even 163 is kind of in my wheelhouse. That's a club I like.
Yeah.
You start getting higher than that, though, I'm not taking the bet.
So yesterday, Hideki Matsuyama, he had the third round lead. He led until the final hole, the 72nd hole. Tenneby, this is how badly Hideki Matsuyama is hitting the driver. You want to talk about hypotheticals? Let's say my life depended upon one of two. I had to pick a golfer to hit the ball in the fairway off of 18 tee box. Okay? Yesterday, would I have chosen Hideki Matsuyama or Tenneby? I would have taken Tenneby. If my life depended,
I always loved that
couldn't hit a fairway. He hit 2 all day. He played 18 twice because they had to go to a playoff. He was against Giddy Up, got her up. And you just knew he wasn't going to hit the fairway. There was no chance. He had no. Now the analyst
couldn't he hit a wood or something at some point?
That's what I talked about it with baby brother Peter. He called during halftime of the game yesterday, and he watched it. I said it was like 439 yards for the final hole, right? And it's like in regulation, he hit it into the church pew bunkers. Just a terrible drive. This is where he blew it. He had a great lie in the fairway. All you have to do is par and he wins, right? It's a simple shot for a pro. He's 122. It comes out low. It hits the top of the bunker and then skitters up about 30, 40. Now he's got a wedge into a green with a bad angle. He knocks it on the green, but he's got like 18, 20 feet, and he misses it and goes to a playoff. Got her up, just blasts one into the fairway. Matsuyama gets up, and I'm thinking, dude, hit a 3-wood. Though I think he hit a 3-wood maybe the time before.
Okay.
Hit a 5-iron.
Hit a 2-iron.
How far? Well, even a 5-iron. How far can he hit a 5-iron? 240, right? So then you got 200 into the green. So now you can hit a 7-iron into the green. I'd rather, because on his drive on the playoff hole, he hooked it left again. It bounced off some stone wall and bounced into the water. And he lost. Of course, he didn't get up and down. He didn't get a chance to. He took his drop. He had a brilliant shot into the green to about 18 feet. But then Gotterup, who was on in 2, just buried the birdie putt. He just hit a birdie putt.
According to AI Overview, which is not accurate all the time, but it says Matsuyama typically hits his 5-iron about 210 yards.
Is that all?
Yeah.
I thought it was further than that. Because some of these guys are hitting a 220. Well, anyway, and analyst guys were saying, and I think they were right. I mean, it's for you and I to look at a guy who's won a green jacket, and he's won that tournament twice before, to look at Matsuyama and go, I think you got the ball placement wrong, kid. But that's what they were saying. It didn't look like he was playing it far enough. You're supposed to kind of play it off your left heel, right?
Yeah.
If you're a right-handed golfer, off your left foot. It looked like he had it in the middle of his stance. That's what it looked like from the camera angles we saw. Oh, twice he had to stop his swing because somebody wanted to yell, you're the man, or get in the hole. And he did a Tiger Woods one on Was that on 16? He had to do it on 16 and 18. I can't remember which one, Tenby, where he got... Remember when Woods stopped on his downswing that one time? That famous thing where Woods is at... I remember what turn. Where he's up here, he's coming on his downswing and a camera clicks or something and he just stops. Matsuyama did the exact same thing. He was coming into his downswing and just stopped. And then... but yeah, it was high drama yesterday. It was... and again, now I'm going to be boomer, staring up at the clouds, shaking his fist and yelling. I know it's only one time all year. It's harmless fun. 16th hole at where they let the drunken
How much do we have to pay you to sit in that spot for a day?
And they run to get there. They show they show the time lapse photography. They open the gates
do you
at
think
7 a.m. and the people sprint all the way across the golf course so they can sit and get a close-up view of the 16th green.
Do you think now it's gotten to the point where it's not even about getting the close view? It's, I want to tell everyone I was here at the 16th at the Waste Management. Yeah. So I can put it on my Instagram and my TikTok.
And just yell. And it's drunken debauchery is what it is, and it's all good. But, so... I would have taken you. I think you would have had a better chance to hit the fairway than I think. I'm making this. I think
that's about the most insulting thing you've ever said to a golfer.
Can you Google how many fairways did Matsuyama hit in the fourth? I bet it was, at one time he was 2 of 12, and I don't think he hit another fairway. He kept a few in play, but they were in the right rough, or he had one in the desert. That was just by the cart path. He could have taken a free drop, according to Deuce Bobick, but he didn't even ask for one. He hit a nice shot anyways. These guys can hit the ball from anywhere. Well, Goddard, you know how he got into the playoff? He made birdie on 18. He's got the ball 2 feet above his feet in some gnarly rough. Now he's got a shorter iron in his hand, so it's not like, But he hits a brilliant shot to about 2 feet, makes the birdie putt, and that got him into the playoff. And that was a remarkable shot because the ball was above his feet in a gnarly lie. But anyway, so that was that. So as you look up how many fairways he hit, to see if you can find that statistic. Now we're basically, I know the big game just hasn't even been 24 hours since it's been completed, but everybody has now shifted their attention to 2026. We're in the off season, but there really is no off season, right? It's we're popping tags. We're doing what's the thing? I just said it. What is it? In Indianapolis? What do they call combine? So you've got popping tags, combine, a free agency, and the draft, and then after a short period of time, we go. Then you got OTAs and mini camps, and then you move on to training camp, preseason, and the regular season. And there's already discussion. I saw a number of NFL insiders have been tweeting or writing. It's almost a given the Vikings are going to go out and get a veteran quarterback, and not just a Sam Howell kind of a guy that's going to be the backup quarterback. They're, basically like, we're signing you up. You're going to sign a contract. You're going to be our backup quarterback. You're going to have, instead, you're going to have every opportunity to win the starting job. And as a matter of fact, the idea of even signing a veteran quarterback, that would almost be guaranteed a starting job. And the name I see floating around is Kirk Cousins. We all know Kirk's history.
You like that? You like that?
Tend to be, as you look for that, how would you feel if the Vikings announced we've signed Kirk Cousins to a 1-year or 2-year deal? Decent money, not, get rich money, but as their starting quarterback for next year, and then maybe for however long he can continue to play.
Do I think Kirk Cousins gives the Vikings a better chance to win than J.J. McCarthy in 2026? I'd say yes. Is Kirk Cousins good enough to lift up the roster that has some flaws and has some holes? And I'm not really sure how they're going to get it that much better unless they just have an extremely good draft coming up in April. I think this team's too far away.
Yeah.
So I guess if you want to bring him in depends on the contract. If he's cheap and this is just kind of like a competition, I don't know if I would just deem him the starter.
Okay.
I think I would make it a competition with him and J.J. McCarthy. I don't know if he's coming here unless he thinks he's going to start anyway.
That's what I'm going to ask you.
Like I said, as of this moment on February 9th, I'm not super excited about J.J. McCarthy being the starting quarterback next year. But I also think it's going to take, like, if we're going to win this year, it's going to have to be a Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson type of acquisition. I don't see them make an extended playoff run with any of the available quarterbacks that are out there just because we went through it. We talked about earlier about how Seattle, you look at their last 5 first-round picks, and they're all hits.
Yep.
And you look at the Vikings, and we don't have a lot of hits in the draft. And you can only use free agency for so long. Because obviously there's a thing called the salary cap. So I just think they have too many holes now where a quarterback of Cousins' stature, he might get them to the playoffs, but they're not going to do anything.
Well, if you have a defense like Seattle, you got, to use a line from Timberwolves GM Tim Conley, you have a puncher's chance. As a matter of fact, there are people who don't want to give Darnold a lot of credit. Will say, well, look at the defense that he had, and that is true. I don't think Darnold's the best quarterback in pro football. I just think he's better than people give him credit for. And if you watched all season long, the last 2 years he's gotten better and better. He's he throws the ball with more confidence. He's a good quarterback. But that would be the only reason I would think maybe Cousins could do it, if they could improve the offensive line enough. Because their defense is good. That's a really good defense. And if your defense can get a lot of 3-and-outs, prevent the other team from scoring, and give your offense the ball more, it's obvious. That gives your team a better chance to win. But I do think if you still have belief in McCarthy, and I'm not ready to completely pull the plug on McCarthy. I'm not saying cut him, let him go. We got to go in a different direction. So, but if you are saying you got to see what he's got, this becomes a critical offseason where you work with him and all the mechanics stuff, and then you got to play him a lot in OTA, in minicamp and all that, which you're going to do anyways. Then you got to let him play in those 2 preseason games, I think. And then you got to, I guess you got to give him one last, you got to give him a chance, I guess. But man, if you could talk about spinning your wheels for another year if he's not the guy, but glad it's not my decision to make.
If they bring in Kirk Cousins, to me, that says a lot about what they think of J.J. McCarthy.
Well, yeah, you're right. This one says, pretty much still watching the majors, huh? Comment as if like, I don't know I guess he doesn't believe me when I've said that all I do is watch majors. I've said on, I don't know, a couple 6, 7 different occasions over the past year that I have been watching more and more golf. There was a time I didn't watch it. I've been watching more and more silly season golf. Can't people just change their mind? I've told you, I talked about it a week ago. Last year, I was going through all of my storage closet, bringing everything out of our storage room, all the keepsakes, stuff that we still have from my in-laws when they passed away, and I've been going through them. And so while I've been going through it, I've turned on golf. But there was a time I didn't watch any. I don't care.
4 years ago, you were watching as much NBA basketball as anyone, and now you're not.
Yeah. I watched NBA because Pete was always watching NBA. Part of it's how you go with your kids. Plus, it is fun to talk to Pete about golf. Pete was texting me during the golf.
Also, like when you were younger, you didn't like spankings.
Isn't it funny how your taste change as you get older? Why do people think they can trap me and trick? Oh, you used to say you only watch majors, and now you're talking about a tournament you just watched almost the whole final round. Yeah, I did. So? It's
the same mentality that also thought Sam Darnold's going to be bad forever because he was bad early. Yeah. He was terrible early in his career, and he saw ghosts. He can't evolve and get better and improve himself.
I don't know what's wrong with people. You know what?
There's lots wrong with people.
Right now, wearing women's underwear is part of my turn on. That could change. You know what the worst part about shopping at Victoria's Secret is? It won't let you try anything on. Couple of things that I need to get to. One would be Flop, Sweat, and Tears, Meat Sauce, Common Man, and Larry Mandela Guy. We're just under 2 weeks away. Saturday, February 21st, Cato Ballroom, legendary Cato Ballroom in Mankato. Go to catoballroom.com/tickets if you'd like to see the tickets are available right now, including meet and greet tickets. Think about it. Getting to meet Common Man, Larry Mandela Guy, and Meat Sauce. What a lucky day. And then Deuce and I climb inside the confines of the 4 ring posts on Friday night for grand Friday night fights. The Minnesota Light Heavyweight State Championship at stake in the main event.
Oh my gosh! Can you remember that?
And we get to do that again too, so that'll be pretty good. His text message says, "Common, here's a phrase for you: a wise person can change their mind. A fool never." Yeah, see, I'm a wise person. Decided to watch golf. So what? This one says, they're going to love that spanking joke in Winona. I wonder if they do like that in Winona. What do you think they're thinking in Winona if they listen to the show today? You know, because we have a new affiliate in Winona.
Well, I will say the people in Winona probably don't know that you do New Year's resolutions. And now that we're on February 9th, we're kind of, well, 5 weeks into this. How are you doing with your New Year's resolutions?
You should ask, because I check them every Monday. Not only have I broken all my New Year's resolutions, but 7 of the 10 commandments as well. When do you start playing the music?
15 seconds.
Because I remember I warned him in Winona. It really bogs down in the final segment. Tomorrow.
We're on fumes at this point.
Yeah, tomorrow, 1 o'clock start. Nico Medved at 12 noon. Mark Rosen at 2 o'clock. We'll get his thoughts on the comings and goings. Oh, you know what else? I was going to bring this up.
Preposterous Statement Tournament Selection Show Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday.
As well.
Noon to 2?
12:15 to 2.
12:15. And by the way, who is... no more charts, right?
Corey Cove and Justin Gard will be here.
Oh, Justin Gard.
They were here last year.
That's right. Justin Gard isn't snarly or snarky at all, so he'll fit right in. You know what I did notice tonight it's going to be? Well, I'll save this for tomorrow. It's a turlet joke. Winona will like it. It's not a joke. It's an observation. I can't believe what I witnessed in the men's restroom here at iHeart, Minneapolis, today. Anyway, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit with you. We will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Big Ticket JG. They're next year on The Fan. Enjoy your day.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota!
Good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
You like that? You like that?
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.